Hello, BookTube. It's a dark day here at Hyde Cottage, BookTube. And this is the reason. 2 packages. That's the total of books that Steve got in the mail on this Monday. 2 packages. And that's nothing short of a tragedy. And I know some of you out there might say, but Steve, some of us don't get any free books from publishers. And maybe some of you would say, but Steve, don't you have it kind of good, not going to work, not putting on pants? And some of you might say, but Steve, aren't tens of thousands of people in Houston living without electricity and on the roofs of their houses as the floodwaters continue to rise? And to those people I say, whose channel is this anyway? Mine or yours? Okay? It's 2 packages. But rather than just throw them in the garbage because it's not worth the effort, I thought we'd go through them together. See if maybe there's a pleasant surprise to brighten this horrible, dismal showing from the mail delivery systems. So we'll start with this first one. We'll start with the little one. The fact that it's little is boding poorly. Let's see. Let's see what it is. Okay. This is due in February of the coming year. It's by John Dufresne, and it's called Flash. The Art of Writing the Very Short Story. The history of fiction has been dominated by the novel and the short story. But now there is this seemingly brave new genre around, very brief fiction. It has been called sudden, micro, skinny, hyper, mini, short, minute, instant, nano, pill-sized, pocket-sized, postcard, and furious. And here at Hyde Cottage, it's also been called one other word. It wasn't on that list. This is fiction approaching haiku, the art of few words and many suggestions. Flash will identify the qualities that make for excellent, very short stories, will demystify the writing process, and will guide the writer by exercises and examples into and through the world of the very short story. John Dufresne's characteristic warmth, wit, and humor remind the writer of the joy of the creative process, making this a perfect guide for both the novice exploring the art of fiction and the seasoned writer interested in trying a new form. And John Dufresne is the author of 10 books, including 2 fiction writing guides. And he's a professor at the MFA program at Florida International University. Okay, so it's a guide to writing flash fiction. Let's move on. This next one here, it's big, it's heavy, could be a finished copy. It's unlikely, the odds are against it being another book about flash fiction, so... Oh, it's a bunch of books. Oh, very nice. All right, so what have we got here? It looks like it's a pretty set, too. This is Dr. Eleanor's Book of Common Ants. Which is simply a guide to common ants. Okay. When I was little, I would take my breakfast crumbs out to my front yard to feed the black carpenter ants living in the willow oak trees. I would build little piles of bacon and toast for them on top of oak leaves and wait for them to lumber out from holes hidden in the bark at the base of the trees. I loved those ants. I was fascinated by the way they walked around like miniature black horses, exploring their way with their elbowed antennae, stopping every now and then to gently tap their sisters and give each other waxy kisses. If I pressed my ear against the tree near the entryway, I could hear them crackling about their business inside. If I sat still, they would come up to my hands and gingerly pick crumbs off my fingers. If I picked one up, she would explore my arm and shirt. If I squeezed her, she would give me a pinch with her tiny jaws. It never hurt. All right. Okay, 3 things. 1, I didn't see this coming. 2, I love my job. And 3, Dr. Eleanor has completely won me over. And that was just a random 2 paragraphs picked, by opening the book. Okay, so this is this is a paperback that comes out in mid-September. Dr. Eleanor's Book of Common Ants. I love those ants. Oh no! Oh my god! She has a whole series. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. This is Dr. Eleanor's Book of Common Ants of California, Dr. Eleanor's Book of Common Ants of Chicago, and Dr. Eleanor's Book of Common Ants of New York City. Okay, so, all right. So we have a piece of crap about lazy writers who don't want to work at their fiction, but we also have a whole little mini library about ants, written by someone who sounds like she has definitely got a yen for her subject. Oh my! All right. Okay, so there you go. It's not just 2 books; it was 5 books. Uh, It's a small mail haul, but I confess Dr. Eleanor's Book of Common Ants has perked me up a bit. So I'll sign off for now. And several of you in comments and via text and email have told me that I'm absolutely forbidden from here on out to apologize for my videos being long. But I guess that still leaves me free to apologize if they're really short. So I apologize that this was really short. I'll do better. I promise. Thank you, BookTube.